10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, welcome back to another edition of the Rising Coaches Member Spotlight, presented by Lucio Sports. Check out our friend Lucio Sports at luciosports.com. Unbelievable stuff that they're putting together. Their apps, the whiteboard app, team management sessions, all integrates everything that you do with your team into simple apps that you can share with your athletes, with your coaching staff, and even coaches are starting to use their stuff in timeouts, in huddles. Our guy Dennis Hopkins just tweeted the other day that he used the app in the timeouts in his playoff game last weekend. So each Rising Coaches member gets a free license to Lucio's products. So check it out. Sign up today, risingcoaches.com. Become a member and get your free access to all of Lucio's products. Paul, thanks for being with us today. We're joined by Paul Chmura from Springfield Central. Paul, what's up, man? How are you?
Not much. Appreciate having me. I was pretty humbled to be asked to be on this with some of the names you've had on here already. Matt Elkin, Melnick, guys like that. It's pretty blown back just to be asked. So thanks for having me.
Of all the examples, Matt is the first one you threw out there. Matt Elkin?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just because he's like a local guy, kind of Massachusetts, and so. I'm
kidding. We love Matt.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, yeah, we're glad to have you with us. Did you? Where are you guys at in your season? You guys done? You still playing?
Yeah. We just kind of finished up this past weekend. We had kind of condensed season out here in Massachusetts. Some of the states started in December, but our part of the state, the western part of the state, didn't start till early January. And they got rid of the state tournament, the regional tournament, stuff like that. So we just kind of played a condensed schedule. Schools in our area got put into bubbles with schools that were local to them. And because our city has a few high schools, we just played the local Springfield schools a handful of times. And it was good to get in there with the guys. And I mean, the season was only, I think we started January 10th and we finished last weekend, and we had like a 10-day break in there because we got shut down for COVID for 10 days because another team in the city had a positive test. So it was different, but it was good too. Already missing it. We're only a half week into the off season, but I was thinking back last season, like we were getting ready for a semifinal game like this time last year. So it's just kind of weird having a season stop without really any win or loss to define your season. But it was good to play. We were lucky to play. I think not too many people thought we were going to play like in September and October. So we were fortunate.
Yeah, for sure. It makes you appreciative of the opportunity to even get back out there with your guys. You're right. It's so different, but you still, you got the camaraderie of the team and the staff and getting to be around each other. I mean, that's the stuff you really, really miss when it gets taken away from you. But yeah, this time of year is weird because the season ends and it's like, yeah, now what do I do with my life, right? You start like, oh shit, I got to do some laundry. I haven't bought groceries in 3 weeks.
Exactly. Like I have actual time on my hands now. It's strange, but even just the last 2 years, we've never, at least for our team, it had really any closure. Last year, we were getting ready to play for the state championship against Lynn English. It was like, I think it was March 12th. It was a Thursday after all that stuff happened with Gobert in Utah, and all the stuff started getting shut down. And the college conference tournaments were getting shut down. We were in the middle of practice, like 2 days away from a state title game, and our school's athletic director came in and said, they're not having it. And so like 2 years in a row, I mean, I've been doing this for 18 years now, and you've always had kind of either you won it all or you lost, and you had that terrible taste in your mouth. Just to kind of leave without the book being ended has been kind of strange. But like I said, we were fortunate to play every day. We got to go to practice. Was like, all right, cool, let's take advantage of this, because you didn't know if the next day somebody's going to have a positive test or something was going to happen within the city. So negatives and positives, just like anything else.
Yeah. Now you guys have had quite a bit of success there at Springfield Central. I see you're conveniently rocking the state
Yeah,
champions
yeah,
jacket there.
yeah.
What's kind of been the success since you've been there? What's it been like?
Well, this is my second stop there, actually. Coached there 06 to 2013 with a different head coach and different coaching staff. We won the state title there in 2012. We had a good win over Brockton High School in the state finals. Won a couple sectional titles. And then this is my second year back at Springfield Central now. Last year, like I said, we're about to compete for the state title. Unfortunately, didn't have that chance, and we had just about everybody coming back this year too, which kind of hurt. We ran like 10, 12 guys out there last year, and we lost just a few of them, and we had most of our guys back this year. So we thought we had a pretty good chance to run it back this year too. So it was a little disappointing, but the school is always one of the stronger teams in the area, at least. About 3,000 kids in the school, so it's the biggest school in this part of the state. So traditionally, Division I in this area, it's either our school or one of the other Springfield schools. They won a state title in 1989. I'm sure some people probably remember them, some don't. Travis Best
Oh yeah.
played, at Springfield Central, then went to Georgia Tech, then had a good career in the NBA. So that's where the school really got their name, probably at the state level and a little bit national level when he was there. The school opened in '86. So it's definitely one of the stronger athletic and academic schools in the city. And we're able to produce some good kids. And the football program is probably even stronger than our basketball program. So it's a good area, good school to be in.
Travis Best was a baller. He was a bucket, and he got game,
Yeah.
which was weird because he was like 30 years old with a mustache, and he's playing like he's in high school.
Yeah.
But whatever. Well, Paul, give us a little bit about your background, man. Where are you from, and how did you get into coaching?
Yeah, well, born and raised in this area, Chigby, Mass, which is right next door to Springfield. Played in high school there. Didn't really ever have any college aspirations of playing in college. Was a decent high school player, but wasn't like a guy that was getting recruited or anything. My dream was always to play for the local high school team. That was my goal. That was my dream. And like, that was one of the best times of my life. But, so I went off to college, not really planning to play or anything, but like October started rolling around, and you know how it is. Once fall starts rolling, you start feeling the juices for basketball. I started to miss it. So I'm like, maybe I should go off and play. So, excuse me, at the time I was at UMass Dartmouth. They were like a top 15, top 20 team in the country, Division III. And like I said, I was a decent high school player, but I wasn't anybody that was going to probably get in the rotation there. So my plan was to transfer back closer to home and go to a school in the area and play basketball the following season. Unbeknownst to me, I went back to our high school practice just when I was on break, playing with the guys, helping out the guys. And my high school coach, Coach Mike Labrie, who's pretty much a legend in this area, just got inducted into Hall of Fame, has over 400 wins, said, hey, you want to be on the bench tomorrow night? Just to kind of help the guys out and talk to them when they come off the floor and stuff like that. And I guess the rest is history. Never laced them up again in terms of playing anything competitive outside some men's league stuff. So coached with him for 15 years after that at multiple schools, starting at Chigby High School. Had some success there. He had been there at that point for about 25 years. Was my mentor, a lot of people's mentors, but he wanted to try his hand at the college game. So he went off to American International for a year, and I stayed back at Chigby High School and became the junior varsity coach there. As the junior varsity coach went up to the varsity level, I took over a JV job. But that summer, he gave me a call and said, hey, coming back to the high school game. He's a full-time attorney, so being a Division II basketball coach and being a full-time attorney, his schedule was packed to say the least. So the athletic director in Springfield gave him a call and said, "Hey, we got a job opening. Would you be interested?" So he took that job, and I went with him. Like I said, we were there for 7 years, had a lot of success. That was at Springfield Central again. Won a lot of league titles, won a couple sectional titles, and was fortunate enough to win that 2012 state championship. It's a awesome school to coach in, but it's also a school where you gotta be in it full time too. And like I said, he was an attorney, so he kind of stepped away for a year after the 2013 season. And at that point, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do or whatnot. So I kind of just took the winter and went to a lot of practices, went to a lot of games. And then the phone rang again. He said, "Hey, I'm coming back into coaching." His alma mater, the other high school in the city of Chicopee Comp, the job was opened up. He took it, and I went with him there for 5 years. And we took a program that was 2-38 in the previous 2 years, and went to the tournament 4 out of 5 years there. Won a few league titles, turned that program around, and he finally retired after the 2019 season. And like I said, I've been loyal to him. He's one of my best friends. He's a mentor. He's taught me so much. So I never had really thought about ever leaving him or getting into the college game or anything at that point. So again, I was at like kind of a crossroads of what I was going to do. That was really all I known, Western Mass basketball and whatnot. And kind of went for that varsity job at that school, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. They went in a different direction. And like 15 minutes after the news kind of broke in our area, if you want to call it news breaking at that small of a level, Springfield Central called and said, "Hey, if you're looking to coach, we'd love to have you back. I know the area pretty well, the teams pretty well." The new varsity coach they hired had been in the city, but didn't really have any local high school knowledge in terms of what the teams were. So they brought me on board, and just really blessed to have them call me and have me go back to such an awesome program, because the last 2 years have been unbelievable. Bill Watson's the head coach. We have a great staff with Tom Devane and Jordan Almore and Rashawn Harris and K1 Bynum. It's just an awesome group, and everything kind of works out for a reason. Didn't get that job in Chicopee, which kind of hurt at the time, but landed on my feet in an awesome place now. So I guess that's the long-winded answer of how I got into coaching. Wasn't ever really envision getting into coaching when I was in high school. Like I said, my dream was to play high school ball. Didn't really have a plan after that, but looking back on it, probably was meant to be, because as a player, I wasn't the go-to guy or anything. I was the guy out on the floor that kind of knew all the plays, knew where everybody should be, and was kind of like that coach on the floor type of player. So,
well, that's awesome. And obviously you left your mark on Springfield Central because they came calling as soon as they knew you were available. So kudos to you. You've obviously done something right there to stay on the top of their minds. Give me your coach's name again that you followed around for the first several years of your career.
Mike Labrie.
So what made Coach Labrie? Obviously, it sounds like he had a ton of success with like established programs and with programs that had no success, and turning those around into consistent winners. How did he do that? What was the secret sauce with him? What made him so good?
It's kind of two parts. One is just the relationships that he's been able to build with either his coaching staffs or most definitely his players and the administrations within the buildings. Like, he just connects with kids in a way that I haven't seen too many people be able to connect with kids. And it's been something that has grown on me and become a passion of mine to see how much he's been able to affect the kids within the city, whether it's Chicopee or Springfield. Like, he cares about them as people first. Like, truly, truly does. Like, he'll do anything for anybody if he's able to do it. I think that just translates onto the floor. The other part of it is just his unbelievable work ethic. Like, I think we see it a lot more now in terms of people scouting and getting into clinics and stuff like that. But he was doing it, I think, before anybody really, at least in this area.
Mhm.
Even when he was in college, he went to Assumption College in Worcester, and he was going to practices when Providence and Boston College and all this stuff. Like, so obviously his work ethic and his knowledge of the game is top notch, but just his relationships and his ability to connect with people, whether it's in Chicopee, where he was a known name just because he grew up there and played there, and his law firms within the city, or just going to Springfield, which was kind of, even though it's right next door, it's a different climate. It's an inner city school, and just being able to connect with people on a real human level has been something that I think has led to his success, and something that I've tried to emulate when I tried to connect with players and be a coach to them and some type of friend or mentor, whatever they need, you know.
Absolutely. Paul, what's like, not what's next for you, because obviously you're in a great program where you love and you are loved there. But like, what is, looking down the road? You want to one day be the head coach there. You want to have your own program in the city. You want to try a different level. What's kind of, in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal, I think, is to do this as like a career, get in college, do it full time. People think I'm crazy, and I think it's one of the awesome things about rising coaches. You get to connect with people that understand like your craziness. Like, I've sacrificed things just so I can coach high school basketball, like either working third shift or taking jobs that don't pay that well, or just not sacrificing relationships, but not doing things that everybody else is doing, because you gotta keep your time free for the kids and the practices and whatnot. So I'd love to get to the college level where I can do it full time and just coach to coach, instead of right now I'm kind of like working to coach. But like you said, I'm in such an awesome place right now at Springfield Central. Like, the right position would have to open up at the college level right now for me to go. I wouldn't just jump at any chance. It would have to be something where I can envision myself making an impact. And that's kind of another reason I want to get to the college game, is just to be able to use that myself as an outlet to give these kids an opportunity to use basketball as a tool to get to the next level and get an education. Just being in Springfield and seeing so many kids and the struggles they have to go through at times, and how much they love the game, and how much they could use it as an asset to get to the next level and get an education. I'd love to be in a spot where I could serve them by getting them into an institution where they could get a diploma and a degree and be able to provide for their families down the road and things like that. So I love where I'm at right now. If there was ever an opportunity to be the head coach there someday, way down the line, because our guy, I think, is doing a great job and he doesn't plan on leaving, and by no means would I ever go for his spot. But I love Springfield Central. It's awesome. But the goal, I think, is to get to college and be able to do this as a full-time thing and be able to serve kids that I'm serving right now, but at a different level and different type of role, and kind of get their lives to that next level too.
Well, good for you. I don't think you're crazy at all. I think you're passionate about what you want to do, and when you're passionate about something, you that's what you want to be spending your time on. So good for you for continuing to find ways to impact, the game and kids ultimately.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Paul, I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us a little bit today. Can you leave us with like the best lesson you've learned in your, time coaching, or the best piece of advice that you would give to somebody coaching?
Yeah, definitely. I always come back to this. Like I said, Coach Labrie has taught me a lot through the years, and he's been with me through a lot of tough times, whether it's through basketball or just some tough times through life. And he's always preached It's how you respond to adversity and failure is what's going to truly make you successful. It's not the lost game or the missed opportunity for a job or some other type of what you may perceive as a failure. It's how you respond to that, what you do with that. And I've tried to always keep that mindset and give that mindset to our players too. Like I said, whether it's off a tough game, a loss, a season that didn't end in a championship, not getting into college, a failed class, something like that. Like, don't let that define you. Always use that as fuel, learn from it. And how, like I said, how you respond to that adversity is what's truly going define you as a person, as a player, as a coach, whatever you're trying to do in that aspect.
I love it. Paul, thanks so much for being with us today, man. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Adam. Thank you.
Thanks.